Hey guys, and welcome back to Football Index Moneyball. Today we have another instalment of the Pick of the Day series. If you haven't already, then don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified when new videos come out, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, then you can search for @IndexMoneyball. For today's pick, I've gone for a player who everyone should be aware of, but who the market seems to have overlooked with the increased trading activity, the transfer window, the early season results, and the Euro qualifiers. So that is Willian. Now, Willian plays at Chelsea. He's a 31-year-old Brazilian forward who can play anywhere across the front three. There's a couple of good reasons for purchasing Willian, but the first thing I'm going to look at is the obvious one, which is his price. At 68p for a player of his proven quality, playing at a top English club in the Champions League, he's way out of whack with where the rest of the players on the index are. And honestly, I think it's just down to people being distracted by all the action recently. If we look at his 12-month graph, we can see here that Willian's actually only 2p off his low point in the last 12 months. Which was 66p. And when the index has grown over that period such a dramatic amount, the fact that he's come down from 90p and now he's down at 68, I think there's just so much room for him to grow there. So this to me just screams value. He came on for 30 minutes versus Sheffield United, and he's not been with the Brazil team over the international break, so he's had another 2 weeks to train. And with the League Cup and the Champions League starting back up in the coming weeks, I think he should get plenty of game time now. So as this is a more well-known player, I'm not going to spend too long looking at his transfer marked. We can see at the top here he's got 2 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, a Carling Cup, and then some Ukrainian titles as well. He's got 69 caps for Brazil, 9 goals. As I said, he's 31. And if we look at his stats from last season, he got 32 games, 3 goals, 7 assists, and then 15 games, 3 goals, 7 assists in the Europa League as well. And in that time, he actually did win a few performance buzz and also 1 media buzz. So here I've come over to Football Index Edge again. I'm going to take a look at Willian's stats for the last couple of seasons. You can see here that he actually made 12p in matchday dividends in the last 12 months and 2p in media dividends. And if we drag this out to be until August 19th, 2017 to now, you see he made 14 in matchday dividends and 24 in media dividends. Now, one of the things to consider for this, and one of the real reasons that I want to tip him, is because Willian only having one name means that he's got a lot more likelihood of being picked up by the algorithm that searches for media mentions. And the fact that his contract is running out at the end of this year, there could be a bidding war between some of the big teams. I know Barcelona have been sniffing around Willian for a couple of years now. So if, say, Barcelona, Man United, because they've been linked with him as well, and PSG or someone like that, if they're all interested in his signature and he won't sign a new contract for Chelsea, that could lead to a good return in media. You can see that over the last 2 years, he's returned 56.3% of his current value in dividends. And here we can just have confirmation that his high point is £1. If he was to get back to that level, that would be a really good return on top of a few dividends possibly. His top matchday score in the old system was 238, so he's proven that he's capable of winning some dividends. If we take a look at Chelsea's fixtures for the next 30 days, you can see that there's 6 eligible games, because this is a League Cup game, so you wouldn't be eligible for any PB or in-play dividends. Having said that, there are some difficult fixtures with Valencia, Liverpool and Lille. But if Willian gets on the pitch, I do think there's a good chance that he could get some goals and assists in that time. And with his price being relatively low, that can play into the thesis for buying him, because the percentage return for a 1p dividend is fairly good. So for today's price analysis, I've taken a different approach and added a variety of expected returns from dividends, as these play a bigger part in the buy thesis than most of my usual picks, with Willian being a bit older and with the potential speculation around his future. So you can see on the left that I've just opted for 3 different options for dividend returns on Willian, and then I've gone for the usual 3 players who I think are fairly close in comparison for age, quality and position for my 3 price targets. In the expected dividend columns, which I've highlighted in orange for this video, I've gone for 3 different expected returns, with my worst case being no dividends of any kind, my mid-range being 3p media and 2p in-play dividends, and my best case being 6p media, 3p performance and 4p in-play. So now with a combination of price targets, I've ended up with potential profits ranging from anywhere from 14% if I ended up with just getting parity on Perisic and not winning any dividends, through to 141% if we end up gaining parity with Sanchez and we get a good chunk of dividends. Now this is just my opinion, so maybe you feel these figures are unrealistic, and a lot of this decision to buy relies on these, so in this case it might not be the right pick for you. But with these 3 factors we've spoken about in his depressed price, potential dividend earnings and possible contract speculation, I think there's enough margin for error to make a solid pick. Again, we haven't factored in any general market appreciation in our target player prices, so that gives us another buffer to our calculations. The one risk that I can see with this pick would be if Willian was to end up going to China or America for the money. This would obviously have a hugely negative effect on his price, so my tactic for this player is to hold him through till February, March, or until he reaches 50 to 70% profit. If he did get to that profit fairly quickly, I would reassess at that point and see whether I thought to hold him for a couple extra weeks was going to get me some more dividends due to some speculation in the media, or just to take the profit and move on to newer opportunities, potentially leaving some profit on the table, similar to the Briel Embolo sale in the last video. That's everything I've got for today's pick. If you have any thoughts or questions on Willian as a pick, then I'd love to hear them in the comment section below. Let me know if you think that this is a good decision or if you disagree with any of my points. And as usual, we've got some links for sign up if you want to support the channel below for Football Index and for Football Index Edge. Thanks for watching and good luck on the index.